were to rate my knowledge as a landscaper on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being an expert, I would probably be about a 4. A 3 would be somebody that knows you need to water regularly and fertilize on occasion. The one thing I'm pretty good at is digging. I grew up with 3 brothers and a dad that wanted to make sure we all knew how to work. The more manual labor, the better. So shovels were familiar to us. One of his favorite instructions for using the shovel was to fill the back of the shovel and the front would take care of itself. I didn't understand what that meant at first, but then realized that once the back of the shovel is full, you've got as big a scoop as you can get. That thin-bladed shovel that I started with is called a sharpshooter, and it's great for penetrating down in the ground and breaking up the soil for easy removal after. The soil in our area is called DG, or decomposed granite. So it's rocky, sandy, and grainy. One of the benefits of it is that if the ground is really hard, you can soak it with water, and the next day it will be much easier to dig. So what I know about planting plants is pretty basic and comes from asking people questions at the local nursery I buy from, as well as reading the information cards that come with the plants. This is just one of the projects that I need to do around the shop and the house this summer. We've done the majority of a complete remodel of the interior of the house and now need to get some of the outside things done. These plants are called red tip photinias. We are adding a couple to help cover a fireplace vent that was added as part of the remodel. You can see a big photinia on the left, which is going to need to be trimmed back some. We're hoping that the new plants will take off quickly and start catching up with the big one. Photinias are evergreens that grow real well in northern New Mexico. They can get really large if not kept trimmed. You'll see brilliant red new leaves in the springtime that turn back to the deep green throughout the rest of the year. I've seen that these can be kind of susceptible to disease at times, but they are pretty easy to treat. They can grow into huge shrubs and make great hedges and can provide a lot of privacy. The only thing that has bugged me about them at times is that though they look very lush on the outside, inside they can be really thin. But pruning them back regularly can help create the fullness inside as well. It's also important that there be good air circulation through the plant to keep them healthy. By the way, in case anyone has noticed that round-looking can thing in my back pocket, it's not a can of Skoal or snuff or any other type of smokeless tobacco. I learned a long time ago I was not a candidate for any of that, or regular chewing tobacco for that matter. That's actually the lens cover for my camera. So the process I use to plant shrubs is to dig a hole about 1 1/2 times the size of the plant container. I take about half the soil removed from the hole and combine that with peat moss or potting soil, something that adds nutrients to the soil. I add a few inches of that mix to the bottom of the hole for the plant to sit on. After placing the plant in the hole and centering it, fill the rest of the hole around the plant with the potting soil mix, lightly packing it into place. You can then rock the plant around a little and then begin packing the soil in a little tighter around the plant. Finally build a berm around the plant to create a little holding pond for the water. The last thing to do is mix a few ounces of root stimulator in a gallon of water. After pouring that around the base of the plant, water it well. As far as how often to water, I try to keep the soil damp around the plant. In our case in northern New Mexico, with temperatures in the summertime in the 80s to mid-90s, watering every other day is pretty effective. I like to cover the areas between curbing and plants with 3/8" gravel in a color called Santa Fe Brown. It can be sprayed for weeds, but it's also easy to clear weeds out of it when they do grow. Simplest way to restore a real smooth look to the gravel is to take a medium bristle broom to it. That's almost it, except for one more little project. This is not the first time that I've done something impulsive when it comes to buying plants. But I saw these the other day and I thought that looked interesting, so we'll give it a try. These are grapes. One is a red seedless and one is a green seedless. I don't think it matters which one is which until they start producing. But this area is out behind the shop, so this is where a lot of things just go sometimes to get
lost for a while. I have no idea what the process is for these maturing to the point that they actually produce grapes. I think it may be years before they produce good fruit, but it'll be an interesting process to see, and I hope it's not a big regret dealing with the creatures and birds and all that like to have a meal on grapes.